We, the gamers. Hey, I'm Frozo, and this is
Jurassic Shotgun.
And we are the Conservative Gamers. Today we have a very important topic to talk about, and one that we need to address, the game industry needs to address, and specifically Bioware needs to address. Manveer Heir, or as he mentions on Twitter, Curry Thunder, is a senior designer at Bioware Montreal. He is currently working on Mass Effect Andromeda, aka Mass Effect 4, and in the past he has worked on Going Home, Singularity, and 2009's Wolfenstein. But he is sadly known for being a radical leftist social justice warrior that is racist toward white people and should honestly be exiled from the game industry already. We will get to that later, but now he has basically just wished war on the United States and possibly even threatened the country.
On December 28, 2015, he said on Twitter, "Justice is not the same as legal. The law is not always just. The U.S. deserves no peace until it acts upon the moral imperative to be just." This is him saying that if the U.S. does not give in to an SJW's idea of how things should be, the U.S. deserves to be at war and should never have peace. This sounds like something he took out of an ISIS playbook. Bioware should fire this racist warmonger, but they probably won't, because at this point in time, they've also become an SJW company that loves people like him. Sadly, his stupidity didn't just start recently.
Many people may recognize him from a while back as he spoke to the game developers at a game developers conference in 2014, pushing the indoctrination of radical liberalism into video games. Much of the SJW gaming media actually covered this and ate it up, praising him for being vocal about it. He himself said that this speech was based on misogyny, sexism, racism, ethnocentrism, nationalism, ageism, ableism, homophobia, transphobia, queerphobia, and other types of social injustice, as he likes to put it. This is the definition of a social justice warrior.
On September 4th, 2014, on Twitter, he stated, "At GDC, I cited a study where the men exposed to sexy women in games reacted more negatively towards a recounting of a woman's sexual harassment. If you don't see the relation to the way gamers treat the women on the web in our content in games, you are engaging in willful delusion." That study was titled, "Effects of Exposure to Sex Stereotyped Video Game Characters on Tolerance of Sexual Harassment." Look it up. The content in our games matters. The industry is complicit in the idea some gamers have that women are objects for men's amusement. Are games the only cause of this? Hell no. But we're reinforcing this negative culture via our games and giving our tacit approval as a result. Here he is telling game developers that make your games what they should or should not include. And the sad fact is that the game developers are listening like sheep. Want proof? Look at how our games are turning out now.
As for him being racist to white people, the proof is on his Twitter as well. For this guy, it would probably be better if he didn't even know Twitter existed. His stupidity would at least not be as loud. But on March 31st, 2015 on Twitter, he said, "White men hate being blocked on Twitter because it's the first time in their sad lives they've encountered someone not forced to listen." On October 19th, 2015 on Twitter, he said, "Thanks for filling my cup tonight, Stephen Harper." In this tweet, he had a picture of himself with a cup that said "White Tears." Manveer Heir also fit into the SJW trend this recent Halloween of calling costumes racist, while ironically adding his own little racism to a tweet on October 30th, 2015 saying, "Dear white people, don't go in blackface, yellowface, or other culturally insensitive ways for Halloween. Don't be that person." When someone replied, "So only white people have that rule?" he answered back, "No, you're just the only group that needs to be reminded every year because y'all haven't figured it out yet, seemingly."
On December 17, 2015, on Twitter, he said, "Sikh friends, I know we are attacked as terrorists and that is awful. However, do not use Sikh Lives Matter and co-opt a black movement. We can make our own hashtag that doesn't push aside an important Black Lives Matter movement by stealing that motto. We are better than that." Notice the word important here. He actually called the racist movement of Black Lives Matter that just causes trouble important. That is the type of mindset he has. This guy is the definition of a radical leftist sheep.
Speaking of Manveer being a sheep, ironically on November 27, 2015 on Twitter, he had the audacity to say, "A lion does not concern himself with the opinions of sheep." He actually just called everyone who isn't a radical liberal social justice warrior a sheep. Yeah, he actually did that. The guy that is the definition of a SJW sheep called other people sheep. That is just sad. While we won't show you every tweet of his because it would take way too long, if you look through his feed some, you will notice that he constantly attacks conservatives and even liberals that aren't SJWs. He also basically attacks every Republican presidential candidate. He has attacked Ben Carson, Donald Trump, Bobby Jindal, and even Mike Huckabee. If you're not an extreme leftist, you would not belong in the world he wishes for.
Mr. Heir is exactly the kind of person that caused the fall of once mighty Bioware, and is also the bane of creative projects everywhere. People like him need to be stopped if gaming and other creative arts are to survive.
People like Manveer Heir are cancer to the video game industry and society, and the sad fact is that people with his ideology are actually winning and taking over our society. We have to fight back against this cancer. Please share this video around so everyone can see what is happening and how corrupt this guy is at Bioware. We doubt Bioware would do anything about him since they were one of the gaming companies that went SJW first, but the world needs to see this. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. If you want to watch more like this, subscribe, and until next time, our hats are off to you.